One foreign investor said that the Philippines is one of the best places in Asia to start a business. Foreigners invest trust in us, not just to do business, but because they believe in our local talent and in our dedication to work. Bastiaan Mawhin maximizes innovation and education to help our young leaders to start their career. He also advised our current leaders to build the runway for the Philippines' success. So Bas, thank you for being here. Can you share with us about your childhood story?
So I grew up in Holland, in the areas where people probably know that area as cheese, Gouda cheese. So I grew up in the Gouda area. And I always wanted to be following the footsteps of my dad. My dad is a teacher, a great role model in my life, a very humble man. I really wanted to do what he did, and so I became a teacher.
And what changed you?
I wanted to find a path of development that I could have a potential impact on a larger scale. Because as a teacher, you're limited to just your classes. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to go out there and see if I could find a venue, a development for myself to go up a notch. And then I received an opportunity as an intern here in the Philippines. So it was really a journey that really triggered me to start really something off from scratch again. And what helped me there is that you go through the humble stages of really reflecting on yourself. You develop that skill set of to persevere and to pull and to push through in difficult times. And I think now going back to that sort of 6-7 years that I've been here in the Philippines, I would never want it to be any different.
Where do you see Philippines going?
In my opinion, a very talented culture. We also know it as, we know it as the outsourcing, offshoring, but I believe that there is absolute talent and the skill sets to develop that more than a so-called back office country. I really believe that with the right mindset, with the right coaching, with the right training, I mean, even if I look at my own team, if you're able to do that, these people have the ability, if you develop a certain confidence, if you empower them in what they do, and you encourage them in what they're capable of, this country has a lot of potential. The talent in the Philippines has a lot of potential.
Can you see Philippines to go as first world?
Philippines is, I would say, still far away. They're in the B segment. So there's obviously a lot of things that, in that side of things, you need to improve. They did, however, in the past 5 to 10 years, improve their sort of investment and doing business in the Philippines. They achieved from low transparency to more semi-transparency, so I think they're improving. But at the moment, I think what is the most important thing is to develop that trust in foreign investments. You need to be able to create transparency. If we are to continue to commit what we're doing today, that will continue to grow, and that will naturally evolve to something very, very good and very beautiful.
With that, to reach that kind of position in the Philippines, what do you think the best thing for the Filipino people in order to be there?
Build the runway. Because the people are ready, the plane is ready, but the runway isn't there. And that is what you need to build in the Philippines. And we need people on the positions with power in politics and government that help to build that runway. And that's it. And I'm really hoping for this country, because I'm very passionate about, as I mentioned earlier, about the Philippines, the talent, the potential that this country has in its people. But if there's no runway, the Philippines will never take up.
Because of those challenges you share about Philippines, where do you see yourself the next 5 years here?
I think, especially in the sector that I am in, what I would like to trigger and what I would like to see in the next 5 years, a startup culture that combines the best of both worlds. What I mean is the best of the Philippines, the best of the Western businesses. And for a country to lift up that, to bring that level, to bring that to the next level, you have to innovate. You have to attract a culture where you can innovate, and you need to develop an environment where people can really just speak up, exceed, excel, grow. And if you're able to develop that, Because at the moment, that's a challenge. If you're able to develop that, like I said, I think all of us here will have a very exciting next, in the coming 5 years. But on top of that, I believe that the Philippines up is for really good and great things.
Yeah.
For the Filipinos, if you continue to do what you continue to do, which is you're being very hospitable, you're being very welcoming, and you stand out in the APAC region, absolutely, without a doubt. It puts you on the radar just amongst human beings, because a nice person is likely to attract nice people on a bigger scale, from private sectors and from other SMEs and business owners. I'd like to see a lot more happening about preaching that potential. Reach out to leaders that bring the gospel to overseas, whether it's word of mouth or direct marketing. I mean, we work a lot on tourism, for example, but why not from a business culture point of view? It's about bringing the gospel, get people excited, bring them in the country, and once they're in, that's what I mean. You Filipinos continue what you do best, and that is just being nice people, just being hospitable people, being welcoming people. And why? Because to me, that particular mentality is how the world should operate as a whole. And I may start to sound a little bit like I want to create world peace here, but that's not what I'm trying to say. But at least the world is the way the world needs to communicate, the way the world and people need to connect is something that I very much take pride in, and a good example in how the Filipinos do that.
Because of your personal story and your achievements, what would be your best message for our future leaders?
Right. If you can be an advocate of your story, and you can be an advocate of the challenges, the difficulties that you have faced to achieve where you are today, and that you acknowledge that there will be new challenges coming along the way, but share your stories, share those lessons learned. Keep sharing, keep talking about these things, because that to me is the fundamental layer of achieving that, continue to achieve that change and continue as a leader to be part of the bigger picture. And I think it simply starts with yourself, your own story, the things that you've achieved, pass it on to others. Because I'm in the world a little bit of sales, and people buy from people. Make the story like it's yours. It's human. It's emotional. It's real. If you can advocate that, if you can share that with other people, it starts with that. You inspire others, you motivate others, you encourage others, and that to me is the first step in, as leaders that you want to achieve through people and within people.
Thank you. Very
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you. Yeah,
Good
thank you.
message. You inspire me.
This February, brace yourselves for more meaningful talks and relevant dialogues as Asia CEO Forum brings you back-to-back events that you won't surely miss. On February 4th, hear the most senior hands-on real estate leader of India tell the future of real estate for Asia with JLL India Chief Operating Officer Ramesh Nair. This mover and shaker will be speaking on February 4, 2016, Thursday from 7:45 to 9 a.m. at the Tower Club, Makati City. On February 24, 2016, it will be the millennials' turn to speak. The Asia Young Leaders Summit 2016 demonstrates and presents the stories of the nation's most inspiring generation leaders. This annual event for professional young Philippines and one of the largest in Southeast Asia will be coming to you on February 24, 2016, Wednesday, from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Manila Marriott Hotel, Pasay City. Don't miss this opportunity to be inspired. For more information, visit the Asia CEO Forum website, www.asiaceo.org, and find out how you can be part of it.
Andrew Leonard fell in love not only with her Filipino wife, but also with the skill of every local employee he has. He also believes that a leader doesn't need to be dominant, but rather be skillful in finding the common ground. So, Andrew, can you share with us about your childhood dream?
Oh, my childhood dream, I guess, I was an aircraft engineer for 19 years. And when I was 8 years old, my father worked for the airport. And he brought home a large picture to put on my bedroom wall as of an aircraft for Ansett Airlines in Australia at the time. So from the age of 8, really, my childhood dream was to actually work for the airlines.
So you like to be in that airline because of your dad or because of yourself?
I guess personally, I knew a lot of people that worked for the airlines. Certainly it was an area I was very good in computers and in mathematics, and the airline business that I wanted to go into was certainly the computers that worked the airline, and the aircraft. So I spent a lot of time studying in that particular area in my late school years, and managed to be able to achieve my dream. So when I met the opportunity, I told the people at the airline what I'd been looking at and my vision as far as a childhood. I wanted to get into this position, and lucky enough they supported me to make that dream come true. So.
Are you a competitive child?
Competitive. I guess I come from quite a big sporting family, so sports was certainly one of the major drivers of competition between myself and my two brothers. And so basketball was one of our big favourite things, and our competitive nature, I guess, from a sporting perspective, but also in business as well. I like to drive and challenge myself in business as well. So I guess all the way through, I think anyone that has ambition and wants to achieve something from a young age, I think you carry that through and be able to bring that into both personal and business life.
So what is your leadership skills?
One of my strengths over the years, and certainly even today, is trying to find the ability to find a common place when you're dealing with people. So my leadership skills is not a dominant skill. I find it very proactive. So most people that work with me really, it's a two-way street. Nobody feels as if they can't walk through my door and challenge me on any ideas or have a brainstorming session. And I certainly encourage in my workplace the brainstorming activities that we have around things. So from my perspective, I guess my leadership style is collaboration. And I really do think that every single person, doesn't matter who they are or where they are, they can contribute to having good ideas and to helping a business grow.
With that, what made you decided to invest in Philippines?
Well, the Philippines is an interesting scenario, I guess. I travelled the world. I moved to the Middle East and then into Europe and into Germany, and then I spent a great deal of time in London, 10 years. And I worked for a company there that was a truly global company. And one of our biggest delivery centres was in the Philippines. So I spent the last 8 years really, 9 years ago now. And so really from that organisation, and then I moved out of there, the opportunity was to come here full-time and work with people, and then eventually start up and be part owner in the business that we have today, and really extend that into a business vision for myself. And certainly the people here works with my management style. So it's very much a give and take, and I find the people in the Philippines fantastic. So eventually, of course, you find your soulmate and you settle down and you have children here. So my family is, I have a Filipino better half to me and our beautiful 2-year-old daughter. So I'm more than happy to be here for the next 8 and 16 and 24 years. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. So in terms of business, what you love the best in Philippines?
You have so many different complex family-owned businesses here in the Philippines. It throws up a lot of challenges, but also there's a lot of developed parts from a technology enablement around the world. And Philippines is still a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as some of these adoption of technology and ways of working, especially from a global perspective. So I find myself in a great position to be able to help companies in the Philippines be able to leverage off things that are happening in other parts of the world and other businesses around the world, and really bring that to the Philippines and help companies grow.
So with that, what's the good quality of Filipinos?
Their compassion. I think I think everybody in my office every day when I see them walking in always have a smile on their face. They're never grumpy. In my office, I've got a lot of people that come in with a big smile on their face, always willing to have a chat. And the level of skill here, there's a lot of people that have an impression of the Philippines that they're very much a doing sort of a country, and there's not enough leaders in the Philippines. Well, contrary to that belief, I find there's a lot of great managers that I have in the Philippines, and my senior leadership team are exceptionally great value anywhere in the world.
So what motivates you?
What motivates me? I think when I have a positive impact on people. When I was growing up, I had a couple of very good mentors. And I find my role in the Philippines, and especially within my organisation as well, is to be a positive mentor to people. It's not a matter of being a boss and telling people what to do. It's mentoring people to increase their own ability to do their job better.
Yeah.
So that's what I get a big kick out of.
Yeah. So what's the biggest challenge you experienced so far in Philippines?
There's certainly a lot of challenges that we face. Infrastructure, especially in a technology age. The country is still lagging behind the Asian brothers and sister countries to be able to be getting online and dealing at a global level with the infrastructure. I think that's certainly a big challenge in this country. And certainly people having a belief that there are some great jobs and career growth and great opportunities here in the Philippines. There's still a lot of perspective within people that they have to go to Singapore. They have to go somewhere else to have a good career. They're not respected unless they have that aspiration to go overseas. Whereas I try and teach people that there's some great jobs and opportunities here. I'm here in the Philippines. I don't have to be in London or Australia to have a great job. I have a great job here, and you can aspire to be in these sorts of positions here too in the Philippines.
So do you plan to stay here the next 5-10 years?
If I asked my better half, then absolutely she would be saying I'm going nowhere. However, I love the culture and I love the place where I live, the people I work with, the companies that I deal with. So to myself, the business and my business partners, it's fantastic. So I can't see myself. I never try and plan out too far in ahead of myself. So to me, the plan here in the foreseeable future is to be in the Philippines, grow our business, get out, employ more people in the Philippines, and mentor them, and that's really what I have a great time doing here.
So, what's your dream for the Philippines?
Well, I'd love to see the Philippines over the next sort of 3 to 5 years become as equal as the Singapores and the Australias and the Hong Kongs in the region, both financially and technology, and the adoption of different processes or global processes here in the Philippines. I think it would be fantastic. And that's really, I hope that the Philippines grow that side and really take on the challenge to become one of the really top countries within Asia, because I truly believe the people here are second to none in Asia. So to me, the ingredients are here. We just hope that the governments and the businesses and the people all get behind a common vision and drive the country forward, because I think it's a fantastic place to be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
This February, brace yourselves for more meaningful talks and relevant dialogues as Asia CEO Forum brings you back-to-back events that you won't surely miss. On February 4th, hear the most senior hands-on real estate leader of India tell the future of real estate for Asia with JLL India Chief Operating Officer Ramesh Nair. This mover and shaker will be speaking on February 4, 2016, Thursday from 7:45 to 9 a.m. at the Tower Club, Makati City. On February 24, 2016, it will be the Millennials' turn to speak. The Asia Young Leaders Summit 2016 demonstrates and presents the stories of the nation's most inspiring generation leaders. This annual event for professional young Philippines and one of the largest in Southeast Asia will be coming to you on February 24, 2016, Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Manila Marriott Hotel, Pasay City. Don't miss this opportunity to be inspired. For more information, visit the Asia CEO Forum website, www.asiaceo.org, and find out how you can be part of it.
Darcy Lalonde's mission in the Philippines is more than a business. He wants to develop local talents to become the next CEO. That's how confident he is with the passion and dedication he saw in the Filipinos. So Darcy, can you share with us how's your childhood?
I grew up in Canada, and in a very cold part of Canada called Regina, Saskatchewan. So as all Canadians did, I played ice hockey and played all the way up to some professional ranks, and worked my way up, went to university, and I guess in 1999 I moved to Asia and came to Manila.
So when you were a kid, are you a competitive child?
Yeah, I believe sport is a great developer of people, a great developer of leadership skills, and I was lucky enough to be able to play competitive sports and team sports, and I think what you find is that it teaches you many life lessons.
What made you be part of wrestling, because you're a wrestler?
Well, I think that was at the end of my hockey career. I had some notoriety in terms of being an enforcer in hockey. And I guess I fell into a number of situations where I ended up getting involved with some wrestlers in Stampede Wrestling, and one thing became another, and had some good fun with it, but then decided I better go get a real job, and went to university.
What made you came to Asia?
I owned a company in Canada, and we started doing some work in Manila with I think a very famous institution here called the Asian Development Bank. So I wanted to try something different and move from Canada, and came here in 1999 and started up a company with some other friends of mine. We had companies in Malaysia, the Philippines, Australia, and Singapore, and I guess since then, although I've worked all over the region and all over the world, Manila has always been my base.
Why you decided really Manila as your base?
It's the place that felt me most welcome. I don't think I ever felt here that I socialized and I only lived as an expat or as a foreigner. I have Philippine friends, I have foreign friends, and we can all mix together, and I think it's the welcoming nature of the Philippines.
Why you decided to start your own business?
I guess very early on decided I like to work for myself, and I'm I guess what you would call a serial entrepreneur. Basing yourself out of the Philippines, the one advantage you do have is surrounding yourself with very good people. And to me, work is also my passion, and to be surrounded by people that I like working with, and this is frankly where my base of people are here, and we go, and I think as we should be doing in the Philippines is using this as a headquarter with the people to really run businesses throughout the APJ market.
With that, what is success to you?
Well, success is I think surrounding yourself with great people, sharing the passion of the business that you have, and having fun, succeeding, rewarding, and like I said, taking that opportunity to balance life with work, but to be very passionate about work, because at the end of the day, good business puts money in your pocket and makes life even better.
How you explain what is business all about?
I think to have success in business, you do need to create revenue, and I don't think it's a personal net worth that you need, but it's an opportunity to have a well thought out business that does generate revenue, does generate profit, and with that you can share that with the people it matters most with, and create growing companies. And I think as an entrepreneur, the most fun is starting a company, seeing it grow. Sometimes with success, my companies have become bigger, and frankly they're not as fun to run when they get bigger, because then you have more governance and more bureaucracy. So I very much enjoy those first steps of startups, surrounding myself with the great team that I bring each and every time, and then seeing success done over and over. And one thing I'm very proud of is every time I may exit a company or sell it or whatever, there's always this thought that, well, that was so much fun, we'll never see that again. And I'm happy to say that I've probably done that 6 or 7 times, and I hope I keep doing it over and over again.
Through that, so how you build your relationship with the Filipinos?
I guess the good news is it's I think if you're fair, I think if you're open, it's very easy to build relationships with the business community and Filipinos in general, and I think it's important to just be open and honest, and I think you get the same in return.
How you encourage the other investors outside to really come to Philippines and invest?
I think it's, you know, for many people, it's about having somebody on the ground here that they trust, and I think I've brought in a lot of investment to the Philippines, and having lived here for more than 15 years, I think you know, it's very, very important that you understand the ecosystems and that you do things the right way, and if you can, the cost to enter the Philippine market is probably less than the majority of the markets, of even the emerging markets. So you look at the cost of people, it's you know, high quality for a pretty reasonable cost.
So through that experience, Darcy, how do you believe with these local talents?
Again, I think the local talent speaks for itself, and it's you know, when you look at the Philippines being the #1 call center hub, it's all about the people and the culture of the people. And one of my passions is to be able to see industries created in the Philippines where Filipinos don't have to go abroad to make a good living, because I think you know, the culture here is very much about family, and it's sometimes a shame that to make a good living you may need to leave the Philippines to be paid an amount that is acceptable to create a good life for yourself and family. But I think now we are seeing where, you know, Filipinos can get jobs here, be paid well, can be paid as well as foreigners. And I think that's something I'm enjoying to see, that evolution here of the workforce.
Yeah. So what's the chance of Philippines becoming first world?
Well, I think, you know, even over the 16 years I've been here, things have changed dramatically. I think you know, you certainly see an emerging middle class that even 15 years ago I didn't see. So in my lifetime, I'm not sure we'll get to a first world, but I think, you know, with the people, you know, like yourself and others who are trying to drive that passion and that belief that, you know, we can be a first world nation. So I think, you know, let's face it, Asia is the emerging market. And I think there is a great opportunity for the Philippines to play a centerpiece in that.
Do you consider Philippines as the tourism destination?
Well, interesting, because as you know, I'm also in the tourism industry, and with Kahuna Resort in La Union, which is a surfing area. It's another, I think, opportunity that has huge potential. And you know, if you look at Thailand, it's their #1 industry. I think the Philippines has the opportunity to do the same, but it requires some regulation, and I think, you know, the service levels have to improve. But, you know, for sure, the Philippines has a great opportunity in the tourism industry.
To leave one message to future investors in Philippines, what is it?
You know, come to the Philippines. It's more fun here, and you know, there's great people and there's great talents, and you can leverage those talents, and it's a great location to base yourself out of.
Thank you, Darcy.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Be the change and be the best that you can be. The world already believes in us. The only question is, are we up for the challenge? I am Rebecca Bustamante, and this is Self-Made.